チャンソさん、こんにちは。ありがとうございます。
こんにちは。
はい。So, thank you so much for joining this YouTube channel. How do you feel, first of all?
Oh, Genki. I
はい、
feel
よ
real
かった。
good.
よかったです。So yeah, we actually can talk about like why you start living in Japan because you live in Japan. And then this year, 2024, a lot of people actually want to move to Japan or travel to Japan from the States. So you can actually share like how do you live in Japan and everything. So first of all, can you a little bit just talk about yourself, like why you how do you start living, and then what is your background? To just tell
Oh, okay.
people.
Well, I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee. Um, I joined the military at 18 and came directly overseas to Japan. I wanted to come to Japan because of my best friend's dad was living in Okinawa, Japan. I heard so many good stories about Japan, and I wanted to go. So unfortunately, my best friend, he was unable to go, but I was able to go. So once I got to Japan, the first thing I did was, of course, go outside and look around. And then the second thing I did was call my friend's dad and said I made it to Japan. And yeah, that was in 1998 when I first got here to Japan.
Wow,
Yeah. So
amazing. So
yes,
1998, you came to Japan for the first time, and
yes.
because your best friend was talking about Japan. So since when did you know about Japan?
Once my best friend dad started talking about Japan, that was the first time I heard about Japan. Before that, I didn't know anything about Japan
Mm-hmm.
because where I'm from, there's no Asians, so therefore
Mm,
I don't know anything about it, the culture.
no, no way. Okay, so you actually from Tennessee and coming to
Yes,
Japan, totally different place, right?
yes,
So,
yes.
you know, before going to Japan, like in 1998, like what kind of actually information did you know about, in this time? Like shrine or more entertainment
Nothing,
stuff? Like what did you know about
nothing
Japan?
at all, nothing. I did not. I
Wow.
came in here just empty mind, open eyes, because
Mm-hmm.
everybody that I knew where I'm from never
Mm-hmm.
been to Japan. So therefore, I didn't have any information about Japan other than the stories that I heard from my best friend's dad. So that's the only information I had right there, and I just went off of that. So I had the option to live in the States in the military or live in Japan in the military, and I was like, this is a perfect opportunity. I'm gonna go live in Japan. So I chose to live in
Mm-hmm.
Japan. I didn't know anything about it. I didn't know what to expect, and I just came here with a smile on my face.
Wow. So it's like you have no idea what is Japan, and then how do you decided to even move to Japan? Like it's kind of scary, like maybe the language is really different. The country itself is totally different. You just didn't know anything about Japan. A lot of people actually scared of even move to Japan because it's totally different country. So how do you actually decide to move to Japan this time?
Tell you the truth, it was I just went on a whim. They wrote it on the board. They had Japan on the board for the military, and I looked around my classroom. I asked anybody if they wanted to go to Japan. Everybody was like, "Nope, I want to stay in America." And I said, "Yeah, give me Japan." They said, "Where in Japan?" I don't care anywhere as long as it's Japan. And that's I just got lucky, and I came. Yeah, I got orders to Japan. I mean, I was nervous,
Hmm.
true. My mom was sad about it. She was, me leaving the country and everything, but I told her, I reassured her that I'd be okay. I'm a, so I was just happy to come here, learn everything I could learn about Japan, and it's been amazing.
Hmm. Amazing. So, like you requested if you want to go out from the States, like maybe you had a choices, stay in the States or even go to Germany or different, country and US military. What kind of choices you had this time?
I had between United States, Europe, and Japan. Those are the three options
Mm.
I had, and I chose Japan.
Oh wow! Like, what was actually the the reason why you chose Japan? Because your best friend was talking about Japan?
Yep, yeah. So my best friend dad, I mean, we both took martial arts, and he said he wanted his son to go to Japan and learn martial arts from the best, from the masters. And he talked about how beautiful it was, how the people were so nice and friendly. The food was
Mm,
amazing, the atmosphere was amazing, so much to see. And I was just sitting there just like mesmerized by listening to the stories he told. And I was like, I want to go there. And another reason why, because I'm from Memphis, Tennessee, and it's not a very friendly place to live
mm,
in Memphis, Tennessee. It's very difficult, very hard, got to be tough. So, I
mm,
was looking for something totally different. And Japan was
mm,
it. Japan is 100% different from where I'm from. So I have no problem at all. That's why I said I have no hesitation. I picked Japan. So.
mm. Amazing. Right. So when did you move to Japan? It was 1998. That year was actually the day you moved to Japan.
Yeah, that was a year. I want to say the end of '98 I got here. Because I know in the States it was winter, it was snowing and everything. So it was kind
Mm,
of weird. I left all the snow, then I got to Japan, it was just nice and sunny, and I was like, okay. It was nice and sunny and warm, and I was like, okay, I'm good. Okay. So yeah.
amazing. So chances are you are from Tennessee, and then you actually 1998 you moved to Japan. What was actually the first impression as the person came from Tennessee? Like it's totally different world, but do you remember what was the first impression?
Oh, the first impression was it was like New York City to me. When I got off the plane, I went
Okay.
directly outside and I just see all the bright lights and billboards and the cars going by and so much traffic. And then I was like, whoa. I looked around and watched the people. People were so nice and apparently I got lost kind of, so I needed help. So and the people that work at the airline, they were so helpful and showing me around and getting me to my destination. So it was just very overwhelming and friendly. Yes.
Mm. So it's like a Tokyo was like New York, but you kind of you lost, but the people are kind and the people actually help you,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes. Yes.
Mm,
Yes.
I see, I
I
see.
was very
And then
surprised at it because in the States, yeah, you don't get that much help like that. No, no, you really don't ask for help that much. No, you just like, okay, I figured this out myself, type of thing.
mm,
So
hmm. So from the first impression, you kind of felt comfortable, like with the people. How did you
yes,
think this time?
yes, I feel very comfortable with the people. Now I knew the language barrier, the signs, and everything like that. The money, I was like, okay, I'm gonna have to learn all this, but I was like, I have time. I have time because I was my orders were for 3 years, three to 4 years. So therefore I had enough time to adapt, if you can
Mm,
say. So yeah.
I see. Amazing. So it's been more than 20 years since when you visit, Japan for the first time, and
Yes.
you visit our school, Japan Language Factory, last year. And
Yes.
then what was actually the kind of the reason you visit Japan Language Factory this time?
Because I wanted to get back into my Japanese studies. When I was first stationed here in the military, I took it, I read the books, I went to the university on base to study Japanese, and I was doing good in my way. I felt like I was doing good. But then I had to move from Japan after that. And then I went back to the States and I tried to keep it up. And
Mm,
this is a true story. I cannot make this up. So I went to a Japanese person in Hawaii and I was speaking to him in Japanese. And they looked at me strange and got mad and said, "We in the States, don't speak to me in Japanese, speak to me in American." So after that, I have nobody else to speak Japanese to. So my Japanese just went away. I stopped studying, I stopped practicing it. So and then I got lucky to come back to Japan and I was like, oh, gotta pick it back up. So yeah. So basically I started, I was doing good, and then I had to stop, and then I had to start all over again. So
mm,
that's the reason why. So I said
mm,
I need somebody to help me. I realized that I did better with a teacher going over it
Mm,
with me and showing me the proper pronunciations and everything. That worked for me other than me reading the book. I learned more from a person one-on-one than trying to learn it myself on a book and everything. Because I don't speak
mhm,
the native language, so I don't know the pronunciation. And also I'm from the
mhm.
South, so we already have an issue with pronunciations anyway, because we have our own little language. So yes.
Yeah, yeah, understand. Right. So like 2024, there are many actually material available. Like you said, it's a book study, and also, some people use Duolingo, like language application, to like Rosetta Stone Pencil, like a lot of online program, like on-demand program, and also of course like tutoring, and like our master course, it's really one-on-one coaching. So, what kind of actually material have you ever used in your life before visiting Japan Language Factory?
Um, I tried the apps. Um, One app I tried, it was doing good at first. It's very like elementary level, and then this it went from elementary straight to university, and it kind of completely threw me off, and I was like, I'm not ready. So I had to. I was like, let me go back to it. Maybe I missed a step in the program, but some reason why
Mm,
it went from elementary to university just like that, and I was like, no, this
mm,
is not the right one for me. I did the
mm.
books. I tried the books, but it wasn't the same. Um, I I tried some online stuff and it wasn't the same, but nothing got close to other than the one-on-one. The one-on-one was the only thing I think that well I know that worked for me was the one-on-one. So by the
Mm,
factory, the Japanese language factory, that was perfect for me because I needed that type of assistance.
mm-hmm. Amazing. Yeah, like everybody actually want to learn Japanese because especially if somebody have visited Japan, or they like traveling, or like you stationed in Japan and they want to learn. And a lot of people start from like what you said right now, like studying language apps. In the beginning, it's like elementary, like hiragana, katakana. It's quite fun, and later it's getting really difficult, and it's a bit difficult to make a much faster progress. In only the beginning, like 1 to 3 months is good. So what do you think it's when you visit Japan Language Factory, what was actually the huge differences from the rest of the material that you have used before?
It was you all, the teachers. You all were the difference maker because you all are very helpful, patient, and easy to talk to, easy to learn from. So you all are the reason why that to me the language factory works so well.
Thank you so much. Yeah, like but it's a lot of people actually think, well, like you remember maybe the high school, college course, even the teacher is in front of you. Sometimes like the homework is too much, and it's just difficult to even follow with the textbook. Did you have like this issue with Japan Language Factory? How was it?
Well, other the I don't have issues with like being in front of teachers, even when I was in American school. I never had those issues. The issue that I have is due to my schedule, especially by being in the
Mm,
military and I'm in a military environment. Um, Trying to have the right amount of time to study and practice, that's the hard thing.
mm,
Sometimes I finish very late at night and then I don't have time to study or I do have time to study. I'm like sometimes I one of the issues I had was I was on like only able to study like maybe one time to three times a week. It depends on how busy
mm,
my schedule is. Because of my schedule right now, I'm in charge of two hospitals and I have to travel to go to one
mm,
hospital to the other hospital. And then I have classes that I have to give and classes I have to take. So it was kind of difficult, but I did my best. I kept up with it and I studied and I tried to speak to some of my Japanese coworkers
mm.
and I told them I was taking the class and everything, and they was every time I asked for help, they helped me out and everything. They're my friends, because I also played basketball with the Japanese with the locals, so they helped me
Wow.
out also. So everybody know that I was trying, because I just anytime I could, I would try to use it. I understand it more than I can speak it, but now because you all, I can speak more and I realized that I can speak more because when I started talking to my Japanese friends, they was like, "Your Japanese has improved. Your pronunciation has improved." Like I just got back from Tokyo last weekend, and they was telling me how much Japanese I was speaking is much better than what they remember from last year. And they said I understand more, I'm doing more, I'm speaking more, everything is better. And I keep on telling them, no, I'm still learning just a little, just They said, no, no, you have improved a lot since last year. So I was like, well, good. I'm glad other people can see it. I can see a little bit, but I was told by my friends that I have improved a lot. So I appreciate you all. Yes.
Amazing. So it's basically you communicate with the the Japanese people in the basketball team, and you actually made a lot of kind of friends. How much did you make like friends in Japan so far?
Oh, wow. Majority of my friends are from basketball. So I have to say a couple hundred friends because now,
Wow,
because like I just
couple
came from, yeah, I
hundred.
just came
That's a
from
lot.
Tokyo, a big basketball tournament. And yeah, I have so many friends. I didn't realize how many friends I had until I went back this the weekend. I mean, last weekend I went back and there's all my Japanese friends come to me. And, at first, when they first come, they, say like simple quick hello, how you doing, hugs and stuff. But like I said, this past weekend we were just sitting there talking, and it was just fun to talk to them, and they had fun talking to me because they never had a real full conversation with me, and they was like, and it was nice because I never had a full conversation with them either. So it was just nice to talk, and because we all love the sport, the basketball, so therefore it was nice to sit there and talk to them. So yeah, it was amazing.
Amazing, because person came from the States and then start to live in Japan is the biggest struggle is really difficult to interact with people and then make friends. Even some people actually really struggle to make even one Japanese friend. So you said it's a couple of hundred friends. It's a lot. That's amazing.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
have more Japanese friends, I think, over here than I have American
Wow, that's amazing.
friends.
Right. Like, you work in the US immediately, and then you see that there's some actually American people who doesn't speak Japanese at all, like only hanging out with only American, not actually really Japanese people in the local. What do you think as American, like live in Japan, it's only hanging out with American because it's the language it's same, but like versus like you made 100 like local friends. What do you think the difference is?
It's a comfort zone, from what I see, because I talk to a lot of Americans. Even my Japanese friends come to me, they want to talk to Americans, but they're afraid all because of language, and the Americans are afraid to talk to the Japanese all because of the language barrier. So sometimes I use myself and my friends use me and I like introduce them to people. And sometimes I'm like the middle person to do the translation. And I'm like, how did I become the translator? But so that's the biggest issue from both sides from what I see. It's just the communication. Like they want to talk, they want to make friends, but they don't want to be rude or make a mistake. So therefore they don't try, you know. And we
Mm.
even have commercials on the military base telling the Americans to get out, speak to the locals, learn the language. All because you make a mistake is okay. They will help you out. But some people are just so comfortable just being around people that speaks their native language. And so it's a fear thing. I'm comfortable.
Yeah, definitely. Right. And then what do you think what was actually kind of biggest benefit that you can more confidently communicate with Japanese people and you have Japanese friends? What was actually the biggest benefits to you, like versus only staying with the comfort zone?
I get to see more. I get to experience more in Japan with my Japanese friends because they can explain things to me. They can take me places like with my Japanese friends, I have really seen Japan. And then
Mhm.
I mean, when they take me somewhere and I love it and it's amazing place, then I go back to my American friends and then I take them and tell them they was like, how you know about these places? My Japanese friends take me there. That's what I always tell them. Like
Yeah.
everybody, all my American friends always ask me like, why? How you know about this place? How you know about this? Like my Japanese friends take me here and it's amazing. It's beautiful. I recommend you take your family. I tell people take your family, you go take your friends, or I have taken people before. So one one major benefit about having Japanese and have Japanese friends and speaking the languages, you get to see more and understand more. So that's the biggest
Mm.
thing I can say.
Amazing. Yeah, like Japanese people are really usually kind. So even if you don't speak Japanese super fluently, you can still actually go everywhere and it's very safe everywhere anyway. And then the local people can really bring you everywhere and you can really experience in Japan, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Versus what do you think about Tennessee? Like if I go there and
Don't
if
do
I
that.
don't speak English, what's gonna happen to me?
I mean, I'm being very serious, and this is a true story. I have met one Japanese person that has been to Japan. She went to the University of Memphis, and she met her husband now, her current husband in Memphis. They both were in the university, and she said if it wasn't for her husband, she would not have survived. Because when I
Wow.
say there are no Asians, there are no Asians. It's basically black and white, maybe some Spanish. I mean, other than TV, we really don't know. I'm not trying to put my city down though, but we are really not that diverse. And I personally have seen one Asian person since I've been in Tennessee. I take it back up. When I went to go visit my little brother in Tennessee, he was up north Tennessee, and I saw an Asian person there, and I stopped and looked at her, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And she was like, her family
Whoa.
moved there. So, and she was like, "Yeah, my family moved us here." So, if you go there, it will be a culture shock for you. I mean, 100% culture shock. You will not be able to use your native tongue there. Uh, you have to be very aggressive and strong, and you cannot go by yourself. You have to go with somebody from there, and that's only
Mm,
during the daytime for you because
wow.
I have a friend, her cousin goes to Tennessee, Memphis, matter of fact, my hometown, Memphis, and he gets escorted by 6 locals from Memphis every day. And they take him to work, they take him to lunch, and then they take him back to his hotel. And they tell him, do not leave
What?
here and do not leave here at nighttime. And they say, if you need anything, let us know and we will come and bring it to you. That's the lifestyle of Memphis, Tennessee, unfortunately. I mean, people can Google this. People that I mean, like even for Americans, if they ask me like where I'm from, I say Memphis. They like, ooh. So, so people even from America know where I'm from. They just say the name and they be like, ooh, and they just like stop. There's no more questions asked. They already know. They already heard the stories. They seen the TV and everything. So for somebody like you or any Japanese person to go, it's a culture shock. I took my ex-wife there once, and I explained to her the rules. I mean, like there are seriously rules that you have to. I have to. If somebody like you went there, I have to tell you like this is what you can and cannot do. If you do this, bad stuff will happen. If you hear this, this is what you do. This is a true story. Like I told her for one incident. If you hear the police and we are at a gas station, get inside where the footrest is at, crawl up in there, lock the doors and crawl up in there and wait. Because most likely when there's police, you hear gunshots and things like that. So we was at a gas
Wow.
station and police was coming. We heard the sirens. She locked the doors. I was pumping gas, so I was just right there beside the truck. I was pumping gas. She locked the doors. I didn't know she locked doors, and she was inside the footrest. So everybody at the gas station, we stopped pumping. We listened for the sounds. That's what we do. We listen to make sure we hear any gunshots. We didn't, so we kept on pumping. So I pumped the gas, put it up, closed the cap, and I got ready to get in the truck. And the door was locked. And I was like, what's going on? And I was looking in the truck and I didn't see her. And I was like, did she leave the truck? Then I saw her little head pop up and I was like, what you doing? She said, I
Mm.
did what you said. Hear the police and duck. I said, okay, good job. Now open the door so we can go. So she was,
Wow.
it was a different environment for her. And and I told her, like, if people are arguing, like in Japan, no, people arguing, people look and stare like what's going on. Where I'm from, if you hear people arguing or see people arguing, you don't look. You act like nothing going on and you keep on going. Don't look at nothing. And one incident,
Okay. Wow.
one incident, some people were arguing, and I was standing beside her, and she turned around and looked, and I didn't know. And I heard somebody say, "What your Asian tail looking at?" And I said, "Asian." And I looked down. She said, "I'm sorry, I looked at them." And I was like, "Oh gosh." So I had to get in front of her, like, "I'm sorry, she doesn't speak English, even though she do speak English." I had to say, "She doesn't speak
Mm.
English. She doesn't know what's going on. She just heard noises. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." I had to, like, there's no problem, but
Wow.
yeah. So it's a very different environment where I'm from to here. So yeah. So somebody like you going there, I highly do not recommend it.
Yeah, wow. This is a um never heard it like from the real person. Like it's like a movie for me. Like a lot of American movie I have seen, and that story, I have seen on the movie, but actually that's the only movie. It's actually real life. It's some part in the States.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, but like the chances on like it's you are experiencing like almost 180 degrees, totally different like place, which is Japan. It's total opposite. What you said is everything is never gonna happen in Japan, So that's why. What do you think, like with your future plan? Like, Japan is like you feel more home, rather like the place that you came from to Japan is totally different. So like you experience both, and even you can appreciate Japan more for sure than like
Yes.
me, like Japanese people. Like what you actually hear, what you actually told me that it's never gonna happen. So even that as a Japanese, we cannot appreciate the how Japan is so safe and how Japanese people are so kind. It can be sometimes this kindness can be cold, like you really don't uh interact too much because Japanese people are so quiet. But a good side is it's super safe. No one actually attack you. Just people look at you like this, but no one attack, right? So you can appreciate Japan even like 100 times more than native Japanese people. So
Yes.
what do you think like about your future plan? Like, how do you actually like to stay? The place, like in Japan or maybe in the States? What do you think about your future plan?
Oh, I mean, right now, my plan is to live here right now, especially with the job I have. I don't have any plans on leaving, but I'm open to options. But going back to the States, right now, that's not right now. Not that's off the table. Yeah, going back to the
Mm-hmm.
States, that's not right now. No. So I
Mm-hmm.
mean,
Mm-hmm.
I love how it is here in Japan. Plus, like I said, one thing about Japan, I get to travel in Japan. I get to see other countries around Japan. It's easy to travel here in Japan. So, I mean, I love the whole area and atmosphere here. So it's totally
Mm,
different from where I'm from. So, I mean, for me, it's better for me to raise my kids here. I have 4 kids. It's better for me to raise my
mm,
kids here than it is back in the States where I have to worry every single day. And
mm,
yeah, so I mean, I have to worry not that much here in Japan compared to what I have to worry about in the States. So
mm.
yes,
Amazing. And then I think you are the very lucky person that could experience Japan because I imagine if you're living in the Tennessee, just living in the same social circle, and this actually kind of danger is become very normal. And
yes,
then it's just difficult to imagine the outside of Tennessee, what's going on. Even the different states is different people, different place, and even Japan is totally different country. What you said, it's the Asian people. They don't even recognize the differences between
No,
Japan or China or Korea or other Asian, people. So it's like the knowledge that you actually gain will be very different. If you're living in the small social circle in the Tennessee, you don't really experience so much. So,
yes,
like, I think you're a really lucky person that you had this kind of idea. Okay, like, let's move to Japan. Let's see the world. Is I don't think it's a lot of people have this inspiration. What do you think
no.
in
No, they
Tennessee?
don't. They don't. What's up? When I picked the orders to come here to Japan, everybody looked at me like, "Are you crazy?" And I was like, "No, no." They was like, "You
Mm,
want to go to Japan?" Everybody was in my classroom was picking states, 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 states. Everybody wanted to stay in
mm,
America, but I was ready to go. I was like, I'm ready to see the world. I'm like, soon I saw Japan pop up, and I was like, "Yep, that's it. That's it." I was already locked in, 100%. I'm going to Japan. Simple as that. So yeah. Um,
yeah, amazing. So now you can even make a friends in Japan. You have a couple of hundred Japanese friends, and
yes.
it's your future life also in Japan. And what do you think? It's as a person from Tennessee, because it's our community in Japan language factory. We have students from all over the world, but it's not many actually person from Tennessee though. So that's why I would like to actually ask, like, if you just go back to Tennessee right now, and then giving advice that it's maybe you should experience something different things from the current social circle, or even the comfort zone. Even some people live in Japan. What is actually the tips that you can give to them to really experience different culture, especially like Japan?
Oh, well, from my friends that asked me to come over here, like I recently had a cousin that came here to visit because they always wanted to come to Japan, and I gave them tips. I told them it's different from Memphis because they from Memphis also. I said it's much friendlier, it's much safe. Like you can leave your doors open, and you don't have to worry about nobody coming in. You can leave your windows open. That's how safe it is. And I told them, I said, when people try to help you, don't like jump like what you trying to do, you trying to take my money or trying to rob me or something. Like, no, they trying to help you. So therefore when somebody tried to come towards you and speak to you, help you, relax, listen to them. They trying to help you, and just let them help you, because it's a wall for Americans. We have this wall put up, and we don't want
Mm,
nobody too close to us. We don't want nobody trying to help us because we think they trying to get something out of it. But Japan is the total opposite. They want to be
mm,
inside that circle, that wall. They want to breach it. They want to help you. They want to become friends. They friendly. So I tell people just open up. Basically, that's the little tips I tell them. Just to open up and just let the love and the love of Japan just come inside.
amazing. Yeah, this is actually true advice from the person like you from Tennessee. I had no idea, like, when I was living in Japan, I have met a lot of foreigner, some people actually kind of scared to talk to me because the face is Japanese. And that kind of actually mind came from your experiences. Now it's total makes sense. As a Japanese person, have no idea why they're really nervous. Maybe it's how they came from, like maybe people just don't want to talk to me, versus now I understand that maybe just the culture differences. They are worried about, maybe somebody will steal the things, or maybe from bad, like, negative idea. So as a Japanese person also need to understand maybe why they don't want to talk is maybe something is different culture behind. And also, like, now you speak Japanese, it's even more easy to connect.
Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes. People get
amazing.
surprised when I start speaking Japanese. They just jump back, because I'm not a small guy, especially here in Japan. I mean, in the
Mm.
States, I'm like average, but here in Japan, I'm huge. So I'm not a very small guy, especially here in Japan. I have to duck to get off some of the trains. I have to duck in Japanese houses. I have to turn
Hmm.
sideways, and so yeah, I'm a very tall and big person, so therefore, yeah, I kind of stand out a lot in Japan. Yeah.
Amazing. Right. So the last request from me is to give it advice to the people who really dreaming to go to Japan. 2024, a lot of actually people coming from all the world to visit Japan for traveling or even moving to Japan or even retirement life in Japan. And the first things, like you, like the first impression is nice, but also see that is the language itself is really difficult and really struggling. Some people even really giving up to learn Japanese and staying like only expat the American community, almost like a half giving up. So, can you give the advice to them from your real experience?
Yes, please don't give up because you're gonna need it to survive here in Japan. If you're not, the military has a cushion, so it's temporary. But if you're not military like myself, you live here, you need to learn the language because you got to pay your bills. You have to go to the grocery stores. You have to speak to your neighbors. You got to understand what the intercom is announcing when there's like a tornado or earthquake and stuff like that. You need to know your surroundings. So please don't give up. Please take the time to learn the language. It might take you a long time. It's going to be hard. I'm going to tell you that firsthand. Uh, but just start off with the basic, and then you're gonna find your little comfort zone, and then you go from there. Just keep it up, but please don't give up. Please don't.
Amazing. Right. Thank you so much, Chansu-san.
ありがとうございます。
ありがとうございます。
Are you expat? Live in Japan? You started living in Japan, you're super excited to communicate with locals. You can enjoy traveling, meeting people. And then you start using this textbook and you feel like, wow, that's so many. Elementary school textbook, another elementary school textbook, and how many hours should you study? Let's think one more time. In order to communicate like a normal guy, you can do everything in the basic everyday life. Should you finish all those textbooks? Otherwise, you won't understand what they're talking. You cannot express yourself, anything. First of all, there are always two ways to learn languages. One is documentational language. The other one is conversational language. It's like, once upon a time, grandmother and grandfather are living somewhere. Or, hey, what's up? How's it going? Which is conversational. What is the most effective way to learn how to speak Japanese? Textbooks can't talk to you, so you cannot improve your listening skill and pronunciation, how to communicate. So why Japanese children can speak Japanese so quickly? Because they are learning conversational Japanese. The good news is, in Japan Language Factory, we have a specific learning structure to improve your conversational Japanese. So you can join the conversation, you can understand what they're talking, you can respond quickly, and express what you are thinking. If you want to be able to speak Japanese as soon as possible, join our free consultation to figure out what is the fastest way to start speaking Japanese.